Hello, happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another episode of Dinner with the Devs. We're so glad that you're here this evening. Today, we're on board the Schell 2, highlighting the custom lobby settings feature that rolled out in patch 4 of Among Us VR, and we have a super exciting episode ahead. So, before we get started, I did have a couple of announcements to share. You might have heard about it through the grapevine, but just in case you didn't, just wanted to give you a chance to plug in here. We are super excited to announce that Among Us VR won 2 Webby Awards. That is an amazing accomplishment, especially the Webby People's Voice Award. We couldn't have won this without all of you going and voting on our behalf. So thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody who voted, for anybody who said that Among Us VR is the best social experience game. You helped us win 2 major awards for the industry. So thank you, thank you. Super, super grateful. The other announcement that I have to share is, in case you missed it, we rolled out 11 free hats last week. So we put together a little trailer. If you've already seen it, then, sit tight, watch it again, enjoy. Maybe you should try out some of the hats next time you're in game. But if you haven't seen it yet, then here we go. Yeah, so we have 11 mostly Polis favorites hats in game. So please go and check them out. Enjoy yourself as we inch ever closer to Polis Point. Stay tuned for more updates and be sure to check out our roadmap. So I said that we're trying something new for this stream, and we have something very exciting to share with you. So we are featuring live gameplay, featuring some of the awesome talent at Schell Games to talk about some of the 9 billion, in case you peeked it in the trailer, customization options that we have available. So a big shout out to all the Schell Games team members in headset supporting the stream. We're going to introduce them just a little bit later. Wanted to quickly note that so that we can better focus on content and gameplay for this episode, unfortunately, we're disabling chat. There's just a lot of logistics behind the scenes that we need to stay on top of. So we really appreciate your understanding in this regard. And you always know you can join us over at the Discord to keep the conversation going. We would love to have you over there. But that's enough of me flapping my gums. So let's go ahead and get started with the show. We have a lot of matches to get through. Super excited to show them to you. So let me introduce you to some of our panelists this evening. I'm joined by Parker, Mihao, and Mike T. Mike T will largely be off audio, but he's waving. He's going to be our gameplay host, but I'm going to kick it over to Mihao. Please introduce yourself to our guests.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mihao, and I'm the game designer lead on Among Us VR.
Awesome. Parker.
Hi, y'all. Yeah, I'm Parker. I'm one of the gameplay engineers on the project.
Wonderful, wonderful. And as I said, well, Mike T is our gameplay host. He's waving from the distance. You'll definitely hear him in game though. So definitely keep an eye out. Awesome. And we are going to quickly go over custom lobby settings while everybody gets started in game. Let me pull up our gameplay feed. Here we go. Those are all of our crewmates in the Skeld. Amazing. So before we get started, as everybody's getting set up, Mihal, can you share a little more about what custom lobbies are?
Yeah, so basically, we added a feature that is similar to what you have in the original Among Us game, and that's the ability for the lobby host to adjust some of the rules of Among Us. Right. So we launched the game with what are the kind of defaults, and then we added, the ability for you to mess with these settings, to change the defaults, to basically make the game play by slightly different rules. And some of them are brand new to VR, and some of them are just carried over from what you know and understand from the original game. And we also added this neat little balance indicator. So you see the little beans, the red and blue on the right, which basically shows you how far off balance you are from what the default settings are. So the important thing I think that is maybe kind of read between the lines about this is that when it says balanced, it basically assumes you're close to what the default settings are, which there's a separate, philosophical discussion there whether the default settings are balanced, right? Maybe they're not. But that's kind of maybe something that you should keep in mind when you're reading that, right? Like it's how far off you are of the what default settings were in Among Us VR. So we thought that would be a helpful tool to players. And then then you can change all sorts of things about how the game plays to adjust to your particular play group or just to try something new and wacky that is just different. Am I missing something, Parker? Does that cover it?
No, no, I think you pretty much hit all the gist of it. Um, and to talk a little bit about why players might want to take advantage of this new feature, which I feel like is just kind of self-explanatory, but I'll say it anyway. It's just so fun. Like, you can really customize the game to your own personal preferences. You can customize it so, like, you make new game modes, for example. You can just balance it to your own sort of friend group's play styles or skills at the game. Maybe they're like really into like the talking portion. They're like the social players, and you can up the chatting time, up the discussion time, up the voting time, that sort of thing. Or maybe you just want to like play where everyone's blind and everyone's sort of running around like a chicken with their head cut off. And yeah, it just adds a ton of replayability. Like, I'm really glad we added this feature, honestly. I really enjoy it.
That's awesome. It was definitely a community requested feature, so we are so glad to have it here to show everyone and all the random crazy that can come with it. I'm really excited to dive into some gameplay. But before we get started, I did want to introduce the beans that you see on screen behind the scene. We have an amazing team supporting this show. So these are all of our other Schell Games team members that are helping us out today. I'm sure that you'll hear a lot of interesting conversation and fun moments. So we're very excited for it. Awesome. So just to keep the conversation around custom lobbies going, what's your favorite set of rules? Do you have one for custom lobbies, Parker? What do you think?
Oh, for sure. Like I kind of alluded to earlier, I really like to sort of edge the game to like my own personal play style, how I like to play the game, which is sort of low information. We're going to play this exact set of rules later on, but I'll go ahead and hit the highlights of the settings. This is stuff like chat enabled only during meetings, so we can only talk to each other when we're discussing like who's the imposter, like we found a body, we called a meeting, that sort of thing. Only one emergency meeting forever for every person. No visual tasks, taskbar does not update, and then of course anonymous voting and the ejections do not confirm if they're the imposter or not. So reason being, I really like to sort of center the game around the talking. Like that's as much as I like to focus on it as I can. Like the gameplay is fun, like doing all the tasks and stuff, but I really like getting in the meeting and sort of trying to get in my other players' heads. Like, did you do it? Just ask them that directly and see if they crack. That's so fun. And just playing the detective is super fun for me, or the killer.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I would definitely crack. That would be me. I'd be like, "Yep, that was me. I'm so sorry."
Everyone has a tell. Some people
Yeah.
just don't ever talk. Some people you just ask them directly and they fall apart. It's so fun.
We're definitely going to talk about tells later. I'm very curious now. Mihal, do you have any specific settings that you enjoy out of all of the different custom lobby configurations
Hmm.
that get there?
Yeah, I definitely like when you mess with some of the like fundamental rules of Among Us. So for example, one of my favorite things to just throw in there is you can't report buddies. And now, whenever you find a dead body, you have to kind of drop whatever you're doing and decide, like, are you running towards, the emergency button to talk about it? Or, are you going to continue on your task and just tell people, like, hey, there's a body there, watch out. And I think that introduces some interesting dynamics that basically just didn't exist in the game before. I also love to play with hands always visible. That's a new setting in just VR, where your hands normally get disabled outside of meetings, and we did that in the default settings because we thought, oh man, it's going to be just too weird when imposters have to kind of mimic or mime the motions of completing tasks to pretend to do them. That sounds really hard and really harsh on new players. But now that the game's been out for a little bit, and this is kind of a opt-in option, it's kind of fun to have hands always visible, and you can wave at people as you pass them, or you can point, or you can kind of communicate with your hands if you're two imposters without having to say anything, like, we're gonna kill that guy, right? Like, uh and it just adds, I think, a whole new dimension. And just recently, someone on our team shared stats that we looked at our tracking, like, analytics data, and having the hands on doesn't actually seem to affect the win ratio. So it's not this setting that, like, somehow skews balance a whole lot. And I believe in our settings we also didn't make it affect that little graphic with beans, because we were like, well, we're not sure if this is really a disadvantage, right? So um, it does seem to be a pretty safe thing to turn on just for fun, and then try to see if you can tell if someone is faking a task by how their hands are moving, which is, I think, interesting.
Well, I know I'm definitely one for like lots of hand gesticulations when I talk. So hands visible is definitely a mode for me. And with that, we are going to go ahead and kick off our first custom lobby configuration called Conceal and Prowl. So on screen, we have the specific settings that you would use to get to this. We also rolled it out in our patch 4 update notes if you're curious or need to access this later. So one imposter, 10-second cooldown, hands visible always, crew vision minimal, imposter vision long, emergency meetings none, long tasks none, report bodies off, door sabotage off, and sabotage cooldown is 40 seconds. So we are going to focus on some gameplay for a little bit. We're about to pop off this first match, and let's see what's happening on the Schell too.
No, seriously, yeah, like if a wasp comes near me,
Are we
like,
on?
I'll
Is it
climb
time to
up,
play?
dude.
Yep,
It's
time to play.
Let's see it.
I'm gonna take off my earbuds so I can't hear the stream, so because they're gonna reveal who the imposter is probably.
Oh.
We have to dive
So-
into that.
Oh,
dude.
true.
Let's just-
Well,
That's not crewmates. So
We'll talk about our greatest fears later tonight.
everybody wave. You're on the internet.
Lobbies.
Say hi to whoever
Yay.
is watching. Hey. Show games here.
Wow.
Listen among us.
Mom.
it's like we're really
Follow
there.
us at Shell Games on Twitter.
We're gonna play. I forget. We're gonna play a hide and seek like right now. So I'm gonna hit start. Someone's gonna be the imposter. It's okay if we know who you are, because you're gonna try to kill us while we try to run away and do our tasks in the dark. So good luck to all of us except for the imposter.
Yeah.
Hide under the table.
Thank
Woo,
you.
good luck to the imposter.
Good luck, imposter.
Good luck, imposter.
I hope it's Mike.
Is it Mike T?
I mean purple. Haha.
How many
it's not-
I'm
seconds?
the imposter.
How many
No,
seconds do we
yes.
give him?
Hard.
Okay, do your tasks.
Oh boy.
It's
Uh,
dark in here. Killed. Let's go put it on
Okay,
run.
if you got into
Oh my
room by himself, I think he's gonna survive for at least.
Oh.
I'll give you rooms.
Oh.
He's got at least
Yellow,
3
you're
rooms.
not gonna kill me, are you? Guess not.
No,
Right.
no, I've got a task.
Orange is here to kill someone. Yep.
Oh,
that's
never
it.
mind.
All right. Well,
was
I
fast.
still have to do my task, so.
Oh no.
That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, though.
Indeed. So,
Yeah.
Mihal, let's talk about 9 billion custom configurations.
Yeah.
Like how in the world? Like
Right. When we were talking about, how much new type of gameplay does this actually add to the game, it became an interesting exercise to a math nerd like me to be like, oh, well, how many possibilities are there? And because we added 18 settings, and some of them have multiple types of settings, multiple settings within that setting, right? The total amount of combinations actually grows really fast. And if my math is correct, and please correct me, prove me wrong, and shame me on Discord, it was over 9 billion possibilities. Now, you could make an argument that, a game that's only different by the kill cooldown being, or the amount of discussion before an emergency meeting being different by 10 seconds isn't all that different, but it is not the same. So you're going to end up with 9 billion of them, which is silly. But I do think it puts in the perspective of just how many different things you can try. And that's kind of fun.
I love that so much. So what was the process for those that are really in tune with how Among Us original game is being translated to VR? What was it like translating custom lobbies from the original game to a VR setting?
Yeah.
I can start on that one, Mihao, and you can maybe hop
Go
in.
ahead.
Sure. Yeah, I think, like a ton of gameplay features, or really anything in the game, it's super multidisciplinary. Like, I was the sort of head engineer on working on this system for the majority of its development time. And, I talked to Mihao for sort of what settings should we add, how would those settings affect the game, that sort of thing. I would go to artists for how the menu should look, how do we interact with it, that sort of thing. Speaking personally, on the tech side, it was surprisingly smooth for such an impactful game system, a new gameplay feature. Like, each individual setting really only affects the game in a very specific, very sort of pointed place, like the kill cooldown, which was just mentioned in the game, actually. They all exist as sort of variables in programming terms, these individual settings. So we just have to go into these pinpoint spots, add in this variable to say, like, hey, check this. Did the player change it? Then let's update it a little bit. And because of that, it was like super smooth. We didn't really see a ton of bugs when we made this system. So yeah, it was great.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that behind the scenes. Well, that was an interesting.
That was a quick one, yeah.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Deadly
Yeah.
imposter.
So we're gonna roll that again. We're gonna do Conceal and Prowl one more time.
Purple, I apologize.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta pay more attention this time. I got sidetracked.
Yeah, it's okay. We can focus on the gameplay for a little bit if you like.
And you're the imposter.
Yeah, and we definitely looked at the settings in the original game, right? And we said, okay, well, we know a bunch of these are working out well there, so can we bring them over? And if some of them we don't want to bring over, then why? Or if some of them seem difficult or not quite suited for VR, then also get rid of those. There was a bunch of thought put behind, how to make settings easier for new players. Basically, I remember being overwhelmed when I first started playing Among Us, of like, what does it mean confirm eject? Right? Like, I had no idea, and it's a setting and it's set to something, and I don't really know, right?
Nice.
Right, I think let's watch this. Let's see. Mike T should be equipped to bring this home.
Yeah, he's very
Oh,
familiar
it's
with the game.
just gonna be Revenge on Orange first.
Jeez. Oh my lord.
Oh, it's because. Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Grab the kill.
That's good. That's good. 9 seconds. Oh, there's someone. There's a victim.
Uh-oh.
They thought they could hide.
Oh, the second one down. This might be it. This is
Savage.
this is an imposter who's played this game way many times
Very
and
highly
understands
skilled.
how it works. In case you didn't know, as the imposter, you don't actually have to face the player you're killing. Like, as long as they're within a radius of you,
Oh, damn it.
and your cooldown is up, all you have to do is press the trigger. Oh, this person.
How's it going?
Now, see, I think this is a
It's
mistake on their
No,
part.
come
When they
on.
heard that kill, they should have just headed out of there.
Yes! That's a speed run if I ever saw one. Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
You got your perfect
That was brutal.
revenge.
That
Your
was
perfect
beautiful. I
revenge.
very
Very
enjoyed
good at
that.
killing.
I do want to shout out.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, you were talking
decisive.
about
Yeah, that
sort of
was-
some
that was-
updates we made on the system, like
those of you who don't know,
for to help people out who maybe aren't as familiar. We mentioned it earlier, but the balance indicator sort of came along that same way, where like changing all the settings, you can sort of easily lose track of what they all are. Like, what are you doing exactly? I think the balance indicator was something we added in that was really nice for that, to see like, okay, overall, where am I right now? Like, how am I affecting the game?
Right.
And that one's, yeah, it's really nice. Basically, each setting has its own little value for like how much does this skew, basically on a
Right.
a number basis.
Right.
Boil it down
No,
to a science.
that's good though, because I mean it with so many different configurations, it's a nice like tip to let you know, like, okay, this is how you're weighting the scales a little bit. I did want to jump back to tells though. So we just saw Mike T just run through and slaughter everybody in record time. So like what are some of the tells that you've seen from the dev team? Like Parker, what's your tell? Do you have like do you know what your
Oh.
tell is?
Yeah, let's see. I can tell you if
Oh,
I'm
I
the
see what you
imposter.
did there. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Nice. Yeah, no problem. If I'm not the imposter, I will talk a lot, and I will be pretty direct with my accusations. If I am the imposter, I will still talk a lot typically, but I think I'll be a little bit less sort of confrontational. Like, I'll try to play a little nice, so to speak.
Okay, cool. I gotcha. Mihao, what's your tell?
Sad.
Spilling all the secrets.
For the longest time, as the like kind of min-maxer that I sometimes am, I would immediately lock the door to the cafeteria when you start the game, because it is just this kind of like strategy
Classic
of
Mihao.
like, and it's like I did it the first 3 times we played, and then the inside joke became whenever this happens, whoa, it's Mihao. And it was both infuriating where it wasn't me, but it was especially infuriating when it was me. And even if the other imposter did it, right? Like I was like, great. I'm immediately suspicious just for doing that. I don't know what my tell otherwise is. I also think I tend to be, oh wow.
Oh my.
I tend to be quieter as the imposter, in that like I don't want to draw attention to myself, right? If
Yeah.
possible. If everyone else is arguing, that's kind of ideal.
I think that's a very sort of common tell. Like, a lot of people, when they become the imposter, they sort of just see if they can slip under the radar a little
I
bit.
think we do it again.
Yeah.
Hey,
I definitely also, sorry,
other
other than a tell,
Mhm.
I am a very risk-taking imposter player. I will go for like a cheeky kill and an attempt to hide an event so often that like I get myself in trouble just by getting caught, because it just feels more exciting that way. Like I am an impatient imposter. I don't want to sit there and play a long game and try to mess with people's heads. I want to kill them fast, and like when my cooldown's up, it's hard for me to resist. Even when I haven't checked my corners.
Right.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fair. I think my tell, I'm very much a high energy person already, but it just goes like even more. It's like, no, it's just like manic almost. People are like, yo, you're way too,
You're really into it.
what's
Yeah.
going on? It's like, so I've had to learn to like just kind of like tamp it down. But even then, people are like, you're being way too casual about this, cat. So I'm not a very good imposter because no poker face, I guess. But
Right.
it's all gravy. So let's tune in and watch this match, and then we'll hop over into our next custom lobby setting.
Yeah, I think this is the tiebreaker, right?
Oh, did the crewmates win the first time?
Yes.
Okay, nice.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
I can't see what the taskbar is at, but Mike's only got one task left.
Yeah. Right. It is a two-parter, but yes.
That
Yeah, but
visibility is scary.
Catching me.
Yeah, it is.
real.
It is fun how scary
I think we just saw the imposter
the
chasing
low
someone.
lighting is.
This is
All right.
proper horror show.
He's on his last game over an admin.
Oh, hugging the wall. Interesting strategy. Yeah, stay
Yeah.
out of that visibility.
I feel like it's more like peace of mind than it is actually helping him, because the imposters have such more vision.
That's true.
Okay, now we just gotta hide. I feel
Okay, it
like.
looks like about three-fourths
Whoa.
of a taskbar. Oh,
He found his people hiding in the corner.
Hi, everybody.
tried to hit.
Be quiet, because if they're in the duct, they'll hear us.
And see
Oh,
us.
this is interesting. Yeah, I wonder if the imposter was in the vent, would they even see them here without specifically checking?
Yeah, I don't know. I've definitely missed people. There are some colors and some places on the map where you just camouflage well. And if you're standing there still not doing anything, I've done that. Like, I'm running in, looking around, leave, and I totally miss someone.
They're like the same color as the wallpaper.
Or something, yeah.
I gotta try that.
Does sound like a good strategy.
Just stand so still, you become invisible. I've never tried standing underneath a vent though. I wonder like how visible you are. If an imposter would like hop right out in front of you.
Be funny if it just like happened right now. It's like, oh, well, Parker, you should go play the lottery today.
Yeah.
Well, there's 3 of them in that corner. They have
Yeah.
a pretty good chance, you know. Only the imposter can kill one at a time.
Yeah, even if like he comes or they come, I don't know who the imposter is, but then the other 2 just split up. Nice.
Here's the task. Man, it would be interesting.
Whoa.
Gotta go.
Oh, this is tough. They all have to get together. I like the usage of quick chat there. It's like
Yeah,
silent
for sure.
communication. That's interesting.
Ah!
Run!
Dang, that's tough.
Oh no.
They don't have.
Oh!
Yay!
They pulled it out.
Wow.
Amazing.
Oh, that was too good. That was too good.
Oh, just hiding in
Me
a corner.
and Orange were literally, me and Orange were running around the table for like half an hour.
Corner made it.
That was
That's
crazy.
awesome.
Orange,
I
you
didn't
had the
think they would
you
take
had
it.
the moral
So
victory,
scary.
Orange. You got me.
All right. Well, we're about halfway
Yeah,
That was
let me
scary.
kill the
through the
streamer.
show.
And Orange
So-
played like
That's a
the
real goal.
perfect trap in navigation.
I'm gonna
Mm.
quiet down some gameplay so we can go ahead and get started. We're gonna now experiment with. I think Parker, this is the one you were talking about earlier. Where's the proof? So Where's the Proof is our next custom configuration that we will be running. So this one looks interesting. Hands visible always. Chat enabled during meetings. One emergency meeting. That's going to be interesting. Visual tasks off. Taskbar updates never. Anonymous voting on. And ejection show roles off. All right. So we're going to get that going. But while the team gets the match started, I got some more questions for you about custom configuration. So how does this, we say, where's the proof? This puts your deduction skills to the ultimate test. How does this custom lobby setup do that?
Yeah, I'll hop in on this one for sure. And then Mihai, you can add in whatever. But like I sort of mentioned earlier, I think the crux of this is the chat enabled during meetings, the anonymous votes, and the not confirming ejections. So in Among Us VR, we have proximity chat, right? So when you're just running around doing tasks, you can sort of grab somebody and be like, hey, I saw this. I saw blue over there in this area with green. They look kind of suspicious. Just keep that in mind, right? You can have a lot more sort of information flowing throughout the whole round. In these settings, it all has to come from the meetings. So all the information has to come at that time. Like who's done with tasks, who has this many tasks left, who saw what. I think just sort of funneling all of that discussion into this one specific spot really highlights the social aspect of the game for me. I really enjoy that.
Okay, I think we're good to start here.
Yeah,
Let's get
and
into
it's interesting the chat setting where you can't talk outside of meetings was one of those things that people would immediately call out about Among Us VR being fundamentally different from regular Among Us, where you couldn't talk during task phase, and it felt like such an integral part of the game that a lot of players were worried, like, how could you possibly enable talking during tasks? That's going to totally ruin the game or off balance it, which it turned out it didn't. We run a bunch of analytics, and it turns out that you can still be deceived just the same,
Sure, for sure.
when you can talk to other people or confused or whatever. And so, but this does bring it back to this kind of core, root of the game, where now you can't. Now, this is Mike showing off his skills. Over 5 seconds, though, is pretty rookie numbers.
Yeah. What are you doing?
So yeah, this is where your kind of deduction skills and ability to pay attention to who's where and what you saw and what people are doing matters extra.
Yeah, and go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the not confirming ejections is a really big change as well. Like, when you kill someone by ejection, you don't really know, if they're the imposter or not, if you were right ever. And especially in like larger lobbies, like if you get up to like 8, 10, where there are 2 imposters, and then this becomes a problem.
Where's the body throw?
That leads to a lot of opportunities for the imposter to later sort of leverage the fact that, like, maybe we already got one. Like, maybe there's only one left. Like, maybe we can just win on tasks, and then you do a double kill and the game's over.
Oh, geez. That's intense. Uh-oh. Let's see what's happening.
Trying to use me because me and Purple's been after it. It is pink. I'm not lying. She's self-reported.
Ooh.
How do we not know?
Harsh
Yeah, it's
accusations.
not. Vote me out, then burn her. I will.
A likely story, Orange. It's too early to vote. Hey, did you say where was the body?
Interesting.
At the start
It was literally in the electrical.
No? Did you, the person who reported the body?
Electrical.
It was
Always
literally in the
creepy.
place like right here down. And
Oh, that's sus.
They are playing a tricky number of players, right? With 7 people and just 1 imposter
Yeah.
is an extra difficult for the imposters, I think. I think it takes a lot of imposter skill and patience, which I'm not good at, to pull this off. And this sounds like this was a risky kill. It sounds like the imposter decided to kill where someone else present, self-report, and try to blame, right? Which devolves into this like, well, if it's not me, then if it's not them, then vote me out, right?
Right. Now that's what I'm talking about. Like, if you had 2 imposters, that strategy makes it so much stronger, because you can direct claim that someone else is imposter. If they get killed, there's no way to know if you were right or not. So, maybe they were.
And then I was like, oh, there's 2 people here.
It is tough, though, with one imposter. It gets harder. Probably these settings are imposter skewed, though. I would think it probably helps them out more than it hurts.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
was trying to think
I
of
guess
a way
that's-
where I could gaslight myself out of that situation.
I'm not really sure.
That's interesting,
Yeah.
though. I'm such an Among Us, like, new player. The self-reporting, like, as a way to circumvent suspicion never occurred to me. So thank you for that pro tip.
Oh,
Yeah, it's good.
My narrative was screwed from the beginning.
All right, we're going to dive in again. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what
For
happens
sure.
now.
Yeah, I think self-reporting is extra good if you kill someone and nobody notices it for like a long time.
Trigger finger is real.
Then you can go and find it yourself, and it becomes so much more believable because maybe you got spotted somewhere else at some point.
Right.
In between.
Yeah, I think the main disadvantage, I think the not having communication is a huge advantage for the imposter, because you're eliminating that part of people saying, hey, stick with me, I'm safe, right? And either you're being tricked, but if you're not being tricked, then 2 players running around is actually really hard for a single imposter to get around, right? Because they get to vouch for each other. They say, "I've always been with this person," and they're safe, which they can still do, but they can't kind of coordinate that as they encounter each other in the wild.
That makes a lot of sense. That's really cool. Are there any other like pro tips out there? Like, oh, you should, especially for Among Us VR, like what ways can people gain the system? Well, not gain the system, but like have an advantage if they're the imposter.
Yeah, a lot of the lessons are, or a lot of the tips are actually similar to, the original game, right? Which is using the sabotages to your advantage is important. Well, something happened.
Yeah, sabotages are a huge thing.
Hey, Cyan, what tasks are you working on, if any?
I love how
shade.
aggressive.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Interesting.
Yeah, I went the right path, and I had to loop all the way around the redness scan because I wanted to follow you. I wanted to.
There,
Hey,
case in
I
point.
think everyone else except
Cyan,
you.
where is Retina?
Where is redness scan?
It's in what, admin?
Maybe.
Cyan locked, first of all, Cyan was following me into the cafeteria because I was heading towards the report button. Then the door's locked behind me, and I'm like, interesting, Cyan's not with me. So I think Cyan's been lollygagging, hanging around, twiddling thumbs, all the old phrases. And
I think Pink's upset. I think Pink's upset because I was following Pink, and Pink was trying to get out of there and
Cyan
kill
was the
someone.
only one I have yet to see.
I didn't see
That's why I was
Cyan.
just next to Pink the whole time.
If I were in this game, I'm voting
Alright,
Cyan. That's enough for me.
I'm voting Cyan. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
These are all valid arguments. If I wasn't the imposter, I would definitely vote Cyan.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, like Mihai was
Wait a
saying,
second.
sabotages are
Sorry, Yellow.
huge
Think I was
as far as
Ronan,
pro tips
are
go.
you
Like
skipping?
getting a kill and then
I don't
immediately
trust-
sabotaging
Yeah,
sort
I
of
don't
the
know
other
if
side of the
I'm
map
not convinced. But
is just a classic strategy. Like if you're on the right, kill someone, call reactor sabotage.
Oh, and it doesn't.
Let's see.
No, we can't talk.
They're figuring it out. They're thinking about it. What does it mean?
Oh, what happened? What I miss?
Oh, they ejected someone and the game didn't end. So.
Oh, I see.
And the best part is they can't yell about it at each other.
Yeah.
So it's awkward silence. Yep. Someone got ejected. So who was accusing Sand? Pink, right? See, I don't think it's Pink. I think Pink was trying
Just
to be
wrong.
clever. I think it's the classic like 2 crewmates trying to be too clever, accusing each other, which
Right.
it puts in the imposter in a very nice position. Like, great. There's already discord. There's already blaming, and they haven't even killed anyone yet.
Well,
Now let's-
y'all
ahead.
both would be excellent casters for like any live Among Us VR gameplay. Like,
The championships.
oh yeah. I mean, hey, maybe sometime.
Yeah, see, we called reactor. Typically, what I would think here is that someone killed on the right side of the map. Sometimes even if I'll see reactor called and I'm sort of in the middle or towards the right, I'll just on purpose head away from
This
it
is
to
a
go look for the
sabotage
body.
one? No, close though.
Oh, that was close. Those are
Oh.
rare. Oh, the charades. What was that all about? I love it.
I am personally not great at using the door sabotages, right? So at some point, people, will try to keep a distance from you if they don't trust you. And as an imposter, you want to basically try to kill people as often as you can. So when your cooldown is down, you got to make that kill so that you can start refreshing again. And chasing people can sometimes take a long time, or just gets you really suspicious because you run into someone else and they start screaming, "He's chasing me!" Uh-oh.
I had to say I think it's purple because
someone
I
died.
did too.
Oh.
I was doing retina scan and I
Yup,
turn
I think
around
purple.
I turn around and Purple is
But it's
standing
not
stock
him.
still, not face towards any minigame, stock
Yeah,
still,
because-
and then the sabotage goes off.
Oh, that's because which you don't need to look at. So I was watching you do retina
It's
scan.
so
Purple
whoever
Chocolate
is the
has been in this
imposter
lobby.
is having the
I
best
heard
time
your
right
voice
now.
say,
Yeah.
"Oh, darn it!" After a sabotage was
Are these the
tried
only 4 left?
in the room I was just in.
I think
said
there's
Purple because I was just
5.
about done with my
There's
upload
5 of
okay.
them.
when someone called the
Okay, I will say Pink.
No,
Why don't you go to Pink?
Ooh, I feel like it's red for being so quiet. It's typical imposter quietness.
Trying to
Hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm trying to see both sides.
Hold on.
Hold on.
I'm out with it.
I'm getting the sound crunched. Maybe they're a little too loud. Or maybe that's just them screaming too loud.
I think it's the excitement because the audio on the gameplay is
Someone hit the emergency button right after we go.
It's amazing. Another crewmate got blamed.
That's
Yeah.
fine, as long as we get rid of Purple first.
As long as we get purple.
No, I'll go first. I'm down with that.
I do not trust anything.
I do not trust anything.
I think
It's the
my
perfect
favorite
tagline.
thing about this mode is definitely the forced silence after you eject a crewmate. Like, yep.
Purple was literally
And
standing by
awkwardly.
To live with your mistakes.
Yeah.
Ooh, they are really excited.
You get to ponder your choices in silence. Oh, Mike T.
They're not going to be happy with that.
And we're silent. Wait, I can hear some. Oh, ghost. Oh, that's another ghost laughing. That makes sense. Ghosts can talk.
Yes.
How does it
And
feel?
complain about being unfairly ejected.
That's right.
Yep.
hurts. I just have a friend.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, I was
yeah.
wondering how many
It's good
tasks
to
are
know
left,
you're
but I
alive.
remember
It's
we
Pink,
can't
right? You
tell
guys were
because the
killed by
task
Pink.
bar doesn't
That's
update.
right.
I got voted out.
By
I
red.
think. Oh.
That's awesome.
All the ghosts together. Wow, the imposter might take this one.
Red's gonna win.
1v6.
It's
It's red.
tricky.
It's red. Okay.
Alright, how can
So
Oh.
convince
Mike,
everyone it's red? Like, is there
Mihao
some, like,
has,
can we spell red with Morse code and doors or something? Like,
Morse code and doors. Yeah, you earlier on you showed us your own personal emergency meeting button.
Oh yeah. I just got this in the mail today. It's very loud. They made sure, everyone in 100-yard radius will hear you when you do this.
Nice.
So I am very pleased with this. It was on sale, and this is the collector's edition of the original Among Us game for PC that comes with this.
That is so cool. I love it.
Yeah.
I would definitely put it on a chain and rock it like Flavor Flav just walking around.
That's so good. Oh my gosh, I might have to do that. How do I chain this? It's my new Halloween costume. Uh-oh.
Run!
Oh, interesting strat. Pretending retina.
What's happening?
That makes
Oh.
me sick.
The imposter's trying to make them comfortable. Oh, it might be working. They
Ooh, I'm
left.
stepping away.
Oh, they lost the game because of it.
Oh,
Oh, no.
tasks.
I knew
Plot
my gosh.
twist.
I was so pretty.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I'm sorry.
I think this is a really hard for the imposter to win. I wonder if they should go to 2 imposters or increase number of tasks.
Maybe. 2 imposters, I feel like you'd have to crank up the kill cooldown, or it'll be a bloodbath.
Yeah. Like we saw earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have about, amazingly, 13 minutes left in the stream. This has been so much fun. Do you want to throw out some, knowing that you know the game so well, you want to just throw out some random settings and see what happens? Maybe create a new cool custom lobby mode? We can ping back and forth. So, Mihal, you can pick one. Parker, you can pick one. And we can just do.
Oh boy, okay.
All right, Mike T.
I know, right?
Mike.
I don't know what time it is. Do we have time?
Hey, Mike. Tuning in from the gameplay world, we're going to throw out some random settings for you to try a new custom lobby configuration.
Hang on a second. Guys, I'm going to walk away from you because Cat's trying to talk to me.
Nice.
Walk away. It's a good one, yeah.
Alright, what are we doing, Cat? Sorry.
Oh, no, all good. So Mihal and Parker are going to throw out some random custom lobby settings for y'all to try for this last match.
Okay.
All right.
Are you down to 6 players?
We're at, I thought we were at 7.
You were, but
We lost somebody. Yep.
Somebody drop,
Wait,
yeah.
they'll probably come back.
Okay.
Keep that in mind.
If they come back, I would say 2 imposters.
Okay. What else you want?
Let's see. Mike, can you move closer so we can read the settings?
Too close, I'm
I gotta like that. That's good. That'll do. All right. Let's see. Set both crew and imposter vision to short.
Oh, that's terrifying. Why?
There we go. Now everyone will be confused.
Chat enabled always. Hands visible during meeting is fine. Go to next page.
Genuinely try snap turning.
Emergency meetings, long tasks, visual tasks. Turn off reporting bodies.
That's a fun one. I really like that.
This is the classic Mihao.
We should crank up emergency meetings. Put it at like at least 2. I feel like that's much more important with the
2
without the ability
meetings.
to report bodies.
I think 2 is a good number. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 is basically infinite for purposes of the game.
And then go to meeting duration and just 0 discussion and as short voting as you can.
That's the way to play for sure.
Brutal. What?
15 seconds.
This will play like
anonymous voting. Well, if you, I feel like this only matters if you have 2 imposters, right?
It does, yeah. It only matters. Well, anonymous voting is important actually. Only confirm ejects matters because if they like tie vote or something, who voted for who still matters.
Can you do chat only during meetings? Actually,
somebody's getting their exercise.
This way, you're not using your not 15 seconds to discuss.
Yeah. Nice. All right, these settings are perfect.
All right, do you have 7 or 6?
I think we have 6. We're down 1. We had a headset malfunction.
That's great. Then you have 1 imposter.
Okay, so we're gonna do it.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, I'm gonna explain this to the players here.
Oh yeah. Let them know.
Okay, so
here we go.
Folks in the game. Mihao and Parker have constructed a very special treat for us. We're going to be playing. We're not going to be able to talk. Everyone's going to be barely able to see. It's going to be super dark. We're going to have 2 emergency meetings each. We're going to be unable to report bodies. There will be no visual tasks. No discussion time, and only 15 seconds to vote. Votes will be anonymous.
Boy.
So I guess as soon as we get into a meeting, just vote your heart.
Just call it.
10 seconds to try to convince people to vote, and then get to vote.
So many great slogans.
Trust
Vote
your
your
heart,
heart.
Trust your heart.
All right.
Your heart knows.
This is gonna be free.
Your heart knows.
Good luck, everybody.
Oh, man.
I feel like
Wild.
this is how playing public regular Among Us games felt. Like you would just get into the emergency meeting, someone would immediately say someone else, and then everyone would vote. It was so hard to convince people to like have a discussion.
I don't know, that visibility thing would get me.
It gets spooky for sure.
And electrical is already terrifying. It's just like, why?
This is my favorite minigame.
This feels good.
Yeah. I love the 2-hand thing. I love it.
So out of all the hats that have come out, do y'all have a particular favorite?
Out of all of the hats?
Yep, that we have available in game currently.
We added in a second mohawk at some point. I forget when that was put in because I've had it for so long on the dev team. But it's the really spiky purple one, the mohawk. I love that thing. That thing's so fun.
That is fun.
I really like the construction hats for some reason. I think they just look funny on these beans as they're like bumbling around the skull. But I think I have to go with the crewmate horse. as my favorite. It's just too adorable. Oh, there it is.
All right.
All right,
Let's
what'd you
see
see,
the heart.
Sion?
Okay. It's purple. There was an orange
no.
body right there. Purple
It is
ran
not
down.
me. It is
Purple just
absolutely
walked
not
right
me.
past the dead body.
I saw
She
yellow.
walked
Yellow
past the
saw
dead
me
body.
doing tasks.
Orange body. And then purple walked right past it.
I didn't see
you
this
hurt,
dark.
go, you hurt.
Cyan's trying to trick us.
Oh no, oh no. Now I regret my
Oh, it
decision.
worked, it
I think
worked.
it's
It
It's
worked.
Cyan. Revenge me.
Nice.
Oh.
It's blue, by the way.
Very
Oh,
dangerous
I didn't
play.
Yeah, dangerous play by Cyan.
Oh, apparently it's not even Cyan. I guess it's blue.
God.
It sounds like it's blue. Yeah.
Maybe they were just
Why
mistaken.
Did they think it was me? What did I do?
That's tough for the.
What did I do? Sometimes in Among Us, you did nothing and you're still gonna get ejected. It's
For
just
sure.
just the cruelty of it.
You were just too suspicious.
Somehow to someone, yeah.
And maybe Mike T did just walk right past a body and we missed it.
Right, it's dark, right? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, the emergency lighting is better?
Oh, this is because he's a ghost.
Oh, he's a ghost, right?
Yeah. Ghosts are not affected by
Ooh.
the vision changes.
Wait, how?
That's the
Oh.
cyan.
Left side reactor. Who did the right?
I did it right.
Oh, using
Red
your
zone
second
is
meeting
involved
just to
in the
chat.
Yellow was
Pretty smart.
I
right?
convinced everyone with Cyan, and we're gonna lose.
Okay,
because of
gotta go with your gut. Everyone vote red. Vote red.
Red.
0 seconds.
Definitely not red, people.
Why red?
Red out of nowhere.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna vote Cyan next time. It's over.
Oh man.
I think Blue just has to kill somebody.
Straight up
now.
murdered
We're-
me, and
it's
that's
done.
why.
And Blue's been pretty good about calling sabotage. There it is. Right? They
Yeah.
know. So
No,
when
I
you're
almost-
when it's down to the wire and the meeting ends, there's a small window for the imposter to call an emergency meeting right before the emergency meeting button becomes available. So basically, you want to hit that to give you a chance to like distract and maybe kill someone. Oh, but this was a very quickly fixed sabotage.
Yeah. I wonder if Blue should instead not call sabotages and just call a meeting, because everyone's so convinced already that it's Cyan.
Yeah.
What is this, yellow?
Trust your heart.
Blue just said we voted Cyan. I think they're
Oh, it's
going
gonna
off
miss.
his roommates.
Nice.
Oh.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Wow, Blue.
Sion's really good at getting everybody against them.
But really, like, the crewmates kind of won that
Cyan
for
is really
Oh, there it is.
They imploded.
Amazing.
Wow.
Blue, you
That
liar.
was
I
amazing.
feel.
I feel all so fooled.
Blue, you lied.
Didn't even go for the kill.
No, he killed me. He killed me. That was
You're
it.
gonna me off.
Really popping off in there.
You guys turning
That's
against each other.
wild. All right. Well, we
So
have
did
are
I really
at
kill the body in the dark?
almost at
You
the end of our
absolutely did.
show. It's all discussion. They couldn't talk during the game, so now they're just like, oh, comparing notes.
Yeah.
All right.
Easy, slam dunk.
Yeah, no, I just had no idea. I just missed it. I don't know.
All right, Mike T, we are almost out of time, so can we have everybody on the Schell 2 wave goodbye to our gracious audience?
I think
Yeah,
that'd
we
be
can
enough
definitely
time.
do that. So the request here, we're out of time, so we're all going to get together and wave, except for me because I'm the eyes of the audience. So
Take a photo.
yeah, right under the big sign, and wave and shout and make noise.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. Have a great night. Come to Schell anytime. Woo. Anytime. Woo. Anytime.
Keep it going. I don't. It's probably going to fade out slowly.
We got
Maybe
Yeah,
like 3 seconds.
awesome.
The audio was crunching there.
I know, everybody's so excited.
I
That
hope,
was
I hope they're still waving.
they up there. That's
I'll
amazing.
be there
I
in
guess
a
we
minute.
can throw them back on there. We'll just mute it because that's just so cute. It does so much.
Oh, there they are, still waving.
It's so nice. So just waving to perpetuity.
Yeah.
Well, thank you Parker, Mihal, so much for all of the insight and the behind-the-scenes glimpses you gave us into custom lobbies. It has been an amazing show. Again, big shout out to all the team members behind the scenes helping to put this together. It was definitely a cross-departmental, multi-person effort, and I couldn't be more grateful for all the time and effort that the Schell Games team put into this. For those of you who have tuned in and hung out with us today, we are so appreciative of your time and attention. If you haven't already, be sure to head over to amongus.vr.com to learn more about the game. That's where we post all of our patch notes and any updates that are coming along. Follow us on Twitter. Of course, you can always touch in with the Schell Games home team at schellgames.com, at Schell Games on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel and you enjoyed our content, please subscribe and hit that notification button so you don't miss anything. And if you really want to know everything that Schell Games does, we cover so much territory across entertainment and education. Head over to schellgames.com. You can see our full suite of client and original IP portfolio work and learn more about team members. Maybe find a job. Check us out. We're really cool. Mihal, Parker, thank you so much for your time this evening. And for all of you out there who tuned in and shared your evening with us, be safe, have fun, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. It was awesome.
Bye.